All right, welcome. Today we are going on a serious journey deep into the Pardes, that's the mystical orchard of secrets, to get to the bottom of one of the most mysterious, most debated verses in the entire Bible. We're going to peel back the layers of reality itself to ask a question that has kept sages up at night for centuries. When God said, "Let us make man," who exactly was he talking to? So, here's our game plan for this deep dive. We're going to start with the mystery of this so-called heavenly council. Then, we'll dive into the Zohar's amazing core parable of a king and a craftsman. From there, we'll literally map out the architecture of being, see how the divine human was put together, and then, finally, we'll unlock the secret of that little word, us. And we're going to wrap it all up by showing you how this entire cosmic blueprint is alive and kicking right inside of you. I want you to really try and picture the scene. This isn't happening in some empty void. Think of a supernal palace, just humming with light. There's a hidden king, the absolute source of everything, and he's in a state of deliberation. Before him is a master craftsman, the one who executes all cosmic designs. And all around them, these radiant, living forces, emanations of divine will, are all converging on this one single moment. And out of this incredible council, a voice speaks, "Let us make man." And a human form, a being made of layered light, begins to take shape. I mean, this one verse, it sets the stage for literally everything. And that, right there, is the big question, isn't it? The one that has echoed for thousands of years. Who is the us? Isn't God supposed to be one? So why the plural language? The use of this single word has kicked off endless debates, deep meditations, and, let's be honest, probably a few theological headaches. You know, it feels like a deliberate crack in the surface of the text, just begging us to look deeper. Okay, so let's start digging in and unpack this mystery. Before we get to the Zohar's mind-blowing secret, we have to talk about the usual explanations you've probably heard. Think of them as the first gate we've got to pass through on this journey. So, you've got a few common theories. Some say it's just a royal we, the plural of majesty, like a queen saying, "We are not amused." Others have suggested God was talking to the earth itself, since that's where a man's body would come from. And the really popular one is that God was consulting with the angels, his heavenly court. And look, these are all valuable ideas, but the Zohar comes along and says, hold on. That's just the outer clothing of a much, much deeper secret. All those interpretations describe an external conversation. The Zohar is here to reveal an internal cosmic process happening within the Godhead itself. And this right here is the whole ball game. The Zohar isn't just offering up another opinion, it's revealing a sod, a deep secret. This isn't a chat between God and some other entities. No, it's an internal dialogue, a deliberation happening within the unified, yet incredibly complex, oneness of the divine. The us isn't about a plurality of gods, it's about a plurality of functions within the one God. So, how in the world do we wrap our heads around that? Well, to help us out, the Zohar gives us this incredibly powerful metaphor that pretty much unlocks the whole thing, the story of a king and his master craftsman. This simple quote just lays out the whole divine hierarchy of creation. You've got a king, the source of the vision, the will, the big idea, and then you have a craftsman, the one with the actual skill to take that vision and make it real. It's a beautiful, elegant analogy the Zohar uses to explain the relationship between two of the primary divine emanations, or what we call the Sefirot. Okay, let's break this down. The king is Chochmah, or supernal wisdom. This is that first flash of insight, the pure seed of an idea, the totally concealed source of it all. It's often called the father principle. Now the craftsman, that's Bina, which means understanding. This is the divine mother, the cosmic womb, that takes that little seed idea from Chochmah and expands it, gives it structure, detail, form. The king has the idea for a palace, the craftsman is the one who draws up the blueprints and actually builds the thing. And this is where we see just how unique the creation of humanity really is. For everything else in creation, the light, the sky, the stars, the process was totally top-down. The king, Chochmah, would say, "Let there be," and the craftsman, Bina, would just make it happen. But when it came to Adam, the Zohar reveals this absolutely stunning reversal. The craftsman, Bina, who is identified with the name Elohim, the very name used in our verse, turns to the king and says, "Let us make man." The builder proposes the project to the visionary. This tells us right away that creating humanity is a collaborative project on a completely different level. So if the king and the craftsman are like the CEO and the lead engineer, who else is in this divine boardroom? To really get the full meaning of us, we've got to zoom out from this parable and look at the entire divine system. Let's try a modern tech analogy. Think of it like a multi-layered cosmic engineering system designed for one purpose: to generate reality itself. Imagine a kind of divine software development pipeline. First up, you have the architect, the source of the core concept, that initial spark. Then, the design engine grabs that concept and fleshes it out into a detailed workable schematic. After that, a super powerful central processor integrates that plan with all the other systems and forces, making sure everything is balanced and harmonious. And finally, the output interface takes that fully processed design and renders it into the world of tangible reality. Now let's map this directly to the Sefirot. The architect? That's Chochmah, our king. The design engine? That's Bina, our craftsman. The central processor is Tiferet, which means harmony or beauty. It's the central pillar that balances all the energies. And the output interface? That's Malkut, the kingdom, the point where the spiritual finally becomes physical. So the us in Let Us Make Man suddenly becomes this entire system coming online for its absolute masterpiece. Okay, so we've got our cosmic engineering system. Now let's look at the incredible product it was designed to create. We're going to switch analogies here, from engineering to gaming. I want you to think of the creation of Adam as the ultimate character build, where every single system and power is brought together to assemble the perfect player avatar. This is really the core question, right? If humanity is supposed to be made in the image of this ridiculously complex divine system, what does that actually look like? How do you even begin to build a being that can contain and reflect the entire cosmos? Just look at this character sheet. The class isn't warrior or mage, it's microcosm. The origin story isn't some village, it's divine synthesis. The core stats are just maxed out, drawing power from every single layer of the divine system. The intellect stats, they're powered by Chochmah and Bina. The spirit and emotional core, that's coming from Tiferet and all its neighbors. The ability to act in the physical world, that's powered by Malkut. And then check out the special traits: duality, containing both masculine and feminine principles, and image and likeness, which is the unique ability to perfectly mirror the system that created it. So here's the absolute bottom line. Adam isn't just one more creature. Adam is the final project. To be made in the image means that the human form and our consciousness are a physical, living, breathing map of the entire Sephirotic tree. Every part of us, every faculty of our soul corresponds to one of these supernal powers. Adam is the one vessel that was uniquely designed to hold, integrate, and express the light of all the Sefirot at the same time. Okay, now we can finally circle all the way back to our original question, because now, armed with this incredible understanding of the cosmic system and its ultimate creation, we're finally ready to hear the Zohar's definitive answer. After this whole journey, after looking at the very architecture of the divine, who is it? Who is the us? Who is actually speaking in this incredible moment of cosmic deliberation? And the answer is as simple as it is deep. It's the system itself. It's the integrated total of all the Sefirot, the architect, the engine, the processor, the interface, and all the pathways in between, all speaking as one, unified unit. It is the divine oneness expressing its own internal complexity, deliberating within itself to create a being that would reflect that very same unity in complexity. Now, the key Kabbalistic idea that makes this whole thing possible is called hitkalut, which means inter-inclusion. It's this mind-bending concept that each sephira isn't just some isolated attribute. Chochmah actually contains a little piece of Bina and Tiferet and all the others, and Bina contains a piece of Chochmah and Tiferet, and so on down the line. It's like a divine hologram where every single part contains the whole. The us, then, is the voice of this hitkalut, this integrated holographic oneness. And this just lays it out so perfectly, the difference between the surface-level reading and the deep secret. The misconception is a committee of separate beings taking a vote. The secret is a single, unified consciousness deliberating within its own complex architecture. You see? It's not some external meeting. It's an internal integration of all divine powers, all focusing on one culminating act of creation. Now, this entire cosmic explanation would be an incredible piece of mystical trivia, but ultimately kind of abstract, if it wasn't for one final crucial piece. Because this isn't just a story about how the world was made. It's a blueprint for how you are made and how you can continue that very same process of creation within yourself. You see, The great secret of it all is that this entire cosmic drama, this whole architecture of the Sefirot, is mirrored perfectly inside your own soul. The macrocosm is reflected in you, the microcosm. You don't just have a soul, you are a soul that is a small-scale model of the entire divine system. That flash of insight you get, that aha moment, that's your inner Chochmah. Your ability to take that idea, think it through, analyze it, and build it into a real plan. That's your Bina. Your emotional world, your capacity to balance love and discipline, compassion and strength, that's the domain of your inner Tiferet. And your ability to take all of that inner reality and actually bring it into the world through what you say and do, that is your personal Malchut. So the ongoing project of making man actually becomes our own life's work, to consciously build, harmonize, and integrate these divine powers within ourselves. So we're going to leave you with this. This ancient blueprint is now in your hands. It's the architecture of your own potential. The real question isn't just who said, "Let us make man," thousands of years ago, but how will you continue that project today? Which level of your own inner world, your intellect, your emotions, your actions, which one will you choose to build this week? Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.